Hello folks, Why Guy here again. Welcome to my home on this very beautiful day. Summer day. The name of this video is called The Why Guy Prosecutes Hades. Now, I realize I'm going to step on a lot of toes of people who I admire greatly. I really do. Wonderful teachers and a few in ministry and people. I know I'm going to step on their toes with this one, but I know those folks love me anyway. So just bear with me, okay? The Why Guy Prosecutes Hades. You know, for over 2 years, I spent almost every evening around a dinner table with the deputy district attorney. Those are two words that are hard to say real fast, deputy district attorney. Anyway, for the state of Colorado in Denver, all right? And I learned a lot. I really did. And so it might have contributed to why I'm such a stickler when it comes to evidence. Evidence of what people claim is true, or evidence of what they believe. You know, that's why I call myself the Why Guy. I want to know why. Why do you believe what you believe? So anyway, I wrote an awful lot about these kind of things in my book, In Defense of God's Love. I'll leave a link to Amazon in the comment section. That's it for the commercial for today, okay? So, this court is now in session, bang, 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 or however it goes, right? And I'll be prosecuting the word Hades. You know, it's a burden of this court to prove beyond any reasonable shadow of doubt the guilt and the role the word Hades has played in perverting and slandering the character of God. That's what I'm going to try to prove here, okay? For some unknown reason, there are those within the circle of my influence that feel a need to defend Hades and how it was used, claiming that it's innocence and why and what they think it really means. You know, the defense wants you, the jury, to believe that Hades simply means death, or grave, or the abode of the dead, rather than an afterlife, netherworld, underworld, in the literary minds of man. All right? Yet these very people who no longer believe in hell, like I said, people in my influence who no longer believe in hell, they will claim that hell is false and a perversion, but Hades isn't for some reason. That's what I want to bring out. It's as if the defense is able to reach through time past, all right, and also able to read minds of people as well. Because, an example, the Septuagint was created back in 132 BC, and it uses the word Hades rather than the word Sheol to express the Jewish belief system referencing the dead. All right. Now, in most, but maybe not in every Hebrew dictionary and ancient writings, Sheol only meant death, grave, pit, tomb, you know, where the dead are kept, as in the abode of the dead. All right? The defense is presenting the notion, though, that Hades meant the same as Sheol to those Jewish believers residing in Greece back then, okay? I hope you're following me. Those folks who actually read the Septuagint at the time. You know, to some of those folks back then, what the defense claims might be true. But to imply that was the case for every one of them, and is still the case for today, you know, that's incredulous. It requires mind reading, and it really is. It's far-reaching. You know, this court will now show evidence that the word Hades existed long before the Septuagint, and how the word was used in its origin. And that's the key, its origin. You know, the Greek poet Homer, circa 750 BC, he wrote about Hades in great detail. Now, you remember, I said the Septuagint was 132 BC, so way back before 132, at 750 BC, he wrote about Hades, and he never implied in any of his writings that it meant death, grave, pit, tomb, similar to where the dead are kept, as in the abode of the dead. But rather, it exalted an underworld kingdom ruled by a god of the dead named Hades as well. Okay? Well, he actually called him Homer actually called him the king of the underworld, not the god of the underworld. So, in case somebody wants to correct me. Yet the defense wants us to believe that over 600 years later, okay, when the Septuagint came out, the meaning of Hades suddenly shifted its meaning for the sake of just a handful of Jews who happened to live in Greece at that time. Relatively speaking, a handful, you know what I'm saying? And also for the future generations of people for all time. All of a sudden the meaning needs to change. You see, things aren't quite adding up here. In reality, the meaning of Hades has only shifted to that of Sheol for just a handful of people. And literary students, it shifted for them, who feel a need to defend their position and their belief in the innocence of Hades. You know, the prosecuting evidence to support this last statement are this, okay? Jury. Google Hades. You'll get Greek mythology or hell, the word hell, first and foremost, rather than Sheol, okay? In numerous Bible versions, Hades actually replaces hell in the New Testament, which implies it means one and the same, doesn't it? If it actually replaces hell, then wouldn't it mean hell? I hope you're catching me. How can Hades mean both Sheol and hell to those who no longer believe in hell, but accept the legitimacy of Hades? See, Hades can no longer be found within the Old Testament of most popular, modern Bibles. You know, if it was true in the Septuagint, if Hades meant the same thing as Sheol in the Septuagint, then why not now? Okay? You know, in asking the question outside of a person's immediate circle, okay? Outside of the people who are defending Hades, outside of their immediate circle, if you ask, if you bring up the word Hades in a conversation, now remember, with people that are outside of your immediate circle, what is the first thing that comes to the mind in defining Hades? Ask somebody. I personally done that, okay? Now, rarely would one get a different response other than hell. Ask anybody, stranger on the street, excuse me, sir, madame, what does Hades mean to you? You're going to get hell most of the time. You know, while there'll be a minority that will mention Greek mythology. Other than the actual defenders of Hades, no one will mention Sheol. Okay, I'm coming to a close here. According to the Webster's Dictionary, Hades is sometimes used as a polite term for hell. That's quote. Okay. According to dictionary.com, Hades, the name of the god of the underworld. Bible Dictionary, Bible Study Tools defines Hades as Greek term widely used to denote the deity of the underworld. Online Etymology Dictionary defines Hades as god of the dead in Greek mythology, also the name of his realm, the abode of dead spirits. Wikipedia, Hades in the ancient Greek religion and myth is the god of the dead and the king. Britannica, Hades in Greek mythology, god of the underworld. Are you following me now? I'm just talking about evidence here. And rather than what's in the minds of what people have been taught in in literary circles, people have been taught one thing in their mind and they believe what Hades simply means the same as Sheol. When I'm saying in their minds it does, and maybe in their literature, in their books, it means that, but it really never has. All right? So in conclusion of this video, if the word Hades is so innocent and has been misunderstood, then why does it conjure up a horrific image to the vast majority of people defining it, if it's so innocent? So why is there a need to defend it, folks? Call it what it really is. It's a tool of ignorance. more times than not, actually used to pervert the character of God and his love. If it can be used to slander God's love, then why defend it? Okay? Well, I hope I haven't offended too many people with this video, but thank you for viewing.